Hello everyone. I just thought I'd do a quick thing about this. Find me. Andre, I think it's Aciman or Aciman, I should find out. It's the fella who did Call Me By Your Name, a book that I read a number of years ago, having seen the film and loved the film. This I picked up a while ago, so it's been knocking about in the house. And I had an idea that it was a kind of summary book, because it's in European cities. It looks summery, and that's when I've read it. And I'm still a little way from the end. I've just got the last section to go, but I feel driven to talk about it. This is why I've got book clubs and things, because I need to talk about books when I'm reading them. It's really gorgeous. It's just hit my mood in the right way at the moment. It's incredibly romantic. The two long sections I've read so far are about two different couples, and who are related. There's a father in the first part and the son in the second, and they both meet new partners. The father meets a girl on the train going into Rome and spends this day with her, this kind of slightly crazy romantic day, where they know that they've chimed in with each other and end up spending the rest of their lives together. It's incredibly romantic. And is it sentimental? I don't think it is. It doesn't feel that sentimental to me. It feels true. Maybe I'm just in a sentimental mood. I don't know. The middle bit, the second section, is about, is it Elio, the boy from the movie, 15 years after Call Me By Your Name, when he's a concert pianist in Paris, and he meets a new fella, an older bloke, at one of his concerts, and they have an incredibly romantic time as well, a very sexy time. The whole book is romantic in the best way. On page, there's a page early on, page 61. I've got it noted down, where the first kind of male character, the father of Elio, whose name I forget, he walks around the city and revisits places that were important to him when he was younger. And there's an apartment where he used to live. It's this bit. If I came back to my hotel each time I'm in Rome, it's because it's just a few steps away from this building, I said. Yes, socks? Come on. I said, pointing to the windows upstairs that clearly hadn't been cleaned or replaced in decades. Come on. I love to hover here. Then it's as if I'm still upstairs, still reading ancient Greek, still grading student papers. I learned to cook in this building. I even learned to sew buttons here. Learned to make my own yogurt, my own bread. Learned the I Ching. Had my first pet because the old French lady downstairs didn't want her cat any longer, and the cat liked me. I envy that young man living upstairs, though he wasn't very happy here. I like to come back later in the evening when it grows dark to watch the apartment. Then, if a light goes on at my old windows, my heart just bursts. Why? She said. Because part of me hasn't given up wanting to turn back the clock, or hasn't quite accepted that I've moved on, if indeed I did move on. Perhaps all I truly want is to reconnect with the person I used to be and lost track of, and simply turned my back on once I moved elsewhere. I may never want to be who I was in those days, but I do want to see him again, just for a minute or so, to find out who this person is who hasn't even left his wife he hasn't met yet, and who is still so far from knowing he'll be a father someday. The young man upstairs knows nothing of this, and part of me wants to bring him up to date and let him know that I'm still alive, that I haven't changed, and that I'm standing outside here, right now. With me, she interrupted. Maybe we can go upstairs and say hello. I'm dying to meet him. I couldn't tell whether she was taking the joke to the next level or being oddly serious. I'm sure he would have loved nothing more than to open the door and see you waiting on the landing, I said. Would you have let me in? She asked. You know the answer. I suppose for me it reminds me of the flat I lived in high up a fire escape on Thistle Street in Edinburgh in 1995, behind George Street, tucked away in the warehouses. And I've gone back and looked up at the fire escape and the light up there and wondered about who I was when I was 25 and living in the city for the first time. It's incredibly evocative of that kind of feeling. And this narrator, this main character, talks about walking around Rome with his son, his grown-up son, and they go on what he calls vigils, and they visit scenes from both their pasts, their romantic pasts, and he talks about how they explain these histories to each other. They earmark moments when time stops and you've got to share them with someone you love. That's what a vigil is. And really that's what you do in a city. You wander around. If you're in good company, you show the places that mean something to you, to your companion. And that felt very real as well. Anyway, it's I've just got a bit to finish on this, but it's already one of my favourites of the year so far. My favourites pile is going to be quite large, I think. Did you hear Socks shouting? He's over here. Come on, Socks. Do you want your chair back? Oh, he's here. Look in the camera. Anyway, I will go and there's his feet. Look at his big feet. I'll see you again soon in the next episode. Say goodbye, Socks.